promoting businesses and organizations to help them reach their full potential. Lighten the path to the success of your business. Enhancing the lives of our listeners by talking about things that matters most. Helping you to shine your light emotionally, mentally, spiritually, socially, and physically. Spreading positive vibes. You've got it locked and you're listening to Light Vibrations, brought to you by Light Communications right here on CBN Radio 90.9 FM. And now your host and our director, Natasha Letza.
Hello, you got it locked and you're chilling with your girl here, Tasha T here, bringing you another episode of Light Vibrations. Oh my God, today we're back in the studio and we have Shauna. Welcome to the program, Shauna.
Hi, how are you?
It's a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful, wonderful. What do you want to talk about, Shauna?
The steady violence that is happening in the high school here in the BVI, it has increased. I don't know for how much percent it is or how much percent it is, but I can guarantee when I was going to school, we had at least one fight a school year, if it was that much. But now, it's like drinking tea every morning, before you leave home. Mommy's telling you to drink a cup of tea, And every day my son is coming home and saying, Mommy, there was a fight today. Mommy, you see the fight? I mean, it has become a problem. And I think as a parent, we need to get a handle and a hold on our children. We cannot leave it for the securities and we cannot leave it for teachers to enforce rules and regulation and instill good behavior into our children.
You brought up what some would call a very vexing topic. I know, the advent of social media and phones, despite, they don't want phones to be, up on their campus. Every child has a phone. And I think that the phone is half of the problem. Now, you said that, in your time, there were one fight at school. Yeah, I'm not sure what school you went to, but,
Old school.
I know where I went, there were fights periodically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you really think that there are, a lot more fights now or no because, we're seeing it? Because in our day, we didn't have the cell phone. We didn't have everybody videotaping everything. We didn't have that continuous flow of video going out there. So, I mean, you might see a video today, but that could have happened last year and thinking, it's current. I mean, what role do you think that, the advent of social media and phones and these set of phones play in making it seem as though, there's a lot more going on? Or do you think that there's actually a lot more going on?
I would say that the social media has a vital role to play in the violence that is taking place, not just at the school, but worldwide. Because what I've noticed, if someone gets into an accident, oh, we're live here on Facebook. Did you see the accident? I mean, we have become so heartless in our society today that we forget to be humans. And it is now flowing from the social media into the schools. Because to me, the children will be picking unnecessary fight. Okay, if Tom says that Mary's hair is shorter than Sue's hair, girl, go and get her. Hit her. I mean, the provocation behind of all of these children fighting constantly for nonsense. And you all locals with this stupidness. It is not needed. I personally, like I said before, I have children that is attending school. And they know. Do not call me on the compound for no folly and no unnecessary behavior. Because both me and my husband, we strongly believe in discipline. I mean, you don't have to abuse your child to discipline your child. This is an era where we are in now where we can take actions towards our children to kind of limit that sort of behavior. You're not doing your schoolwork, you're not doing your chores at home. If you know that you're into video games or you're into your cell phones, tablet, computer, bring your tablet, bring your computer, whatever devices you have, give it to me. Pick up a book. Go and fix a pedal bike. What about climbing trees? What about doing something adventurous with your friends, like taking hikes, taking long walks? These are the things kids forget to do because they're so busy at home, occupied with social media. So whatever they're seeing, they are now trying to act it out, not even in school, but all over the place. And it's becoming a serious problem.
You touch on so many things that I want to jump on, but let me start from the bottom of your list. Come up. When you talk about having the kids go fix a pedal bike, go climb a tree, I mean, they're not doing that, Shauna. Did we show them how to do that? Because those are some of the things that we did. I know I like, fruits. I like guineps. I like mango, especially guineps, right? So sometimes when you see guinep season in, I coming home with guineps by the bags, and my hardback sons will come and ask me, Mommy, where the guinep them? I be like, why you asking me for guinep though? You supposed to knowing that your mother loves guineps. You go find a tree to climb and surprise me with some guineps now. You think that ever happened in my house? I have to figure out how I get in guineps. And then that ain't enough, I have to share with them. So I mean, how much of the blame should be placed on ourselves as parents for not transmitting, relaying, for not encouraging those sort of the behaviors that you're speaking about now?
Okay, I do agree with what you're saying as well too. Like I said, I'm a parent that trapped between two walls, the modern and old school. So you find that certain things I'll be like, we never used to do this thing back then, but then again I have to realize that time has changed. Say for instance, you spoke about we taking the blame for some of what I said, which I do understand where you're coming from. But however, there are days when my kids are driving me insane. I'll be like, okay, listen, y'all get up early, pack your snacks, pack your lunch, and y'all going to work with your dad. Even whatever yard work he's doing at the present time, even if he has to climb trees or to cut trees, or these are the experience that I want my children to have. So I introduce them into going to work with their father. Sometimes they do complain, but I can turn a deaf ear on it because it helps them later on, because that diversity helps them not just at home, but it helps them outside of the home, where they can actually incorporate what they have learned from being outside into the open and bring it inside. If it's to focus on getting them guineps, like you say, out of this tree, that helps them to focus and to calculate how much this equation is in maths, how the science is forming, how English is being read. All of these things help with just going outside and helping, harvesting. These are the things that are simple, but they're meaningful to life.
I definitely agreeing, and I think we do our children a disservice by allowing electronics to be their personal savior. I know in my house, like I talk sometimes till I'm blue or till I'm ready to, hand out a few lashes. But those lashes are far, far apart. And, sometimes the children would take it for granted, like, okay, she only won, so she only, we studying her, because at the end of the day, that's the same thing my mom used to do to me that I said I would never do when I became a parent.
Just see your mom shining through and be like, oh, this is what my mother used to do. And I said I wasn't going to do it,
And I swear, because I was like, man, she was too lenient. Like, she would do the same thing. I look back, I was like, how did I get here? Because I used to say to myself, man, she gave me too much opportunity. And I say, I gonna give my children 3 chances. Three what? They don't go until I lose a screw, and but you know what I heard you mention earlier about, the phones and the electronics. But one time I get cross with everybody in the house and I just plug out my internet. They were coming out of the woodwork trying to figure out.
When you turn on light, you just see the cockroach and scatter.
Like, what are you trying to come and asking me my business about internet?
That's how you get their attention. Take your eyes out of the device. I mean, most recently, what I normally do when I'm not stressed, but when I have too much going on, I say, boys, come, let's go. Let's take a walk. Sometimes you get a little resistance, sometimes you don't. But it helps. Get out of the devices. When the internet goes down, that'll be the sweetest thing in my house because them boys just be back and forth and you find them looking for things to do. And the simplest things, even to the board games, you see them just hauling it out to go play board game because their mind's so set on being in front of this device that they forget how fun it is to play Sorry, to play Monopoly. But what's the name of it?
Trouble.
Sorry. Card games, even to dominoes. It is so peaceful in my house when these things happen because I don't have my bedroom door open. Me being disturbed when I'm doing something. Mommy, come do this. Mommy this, mommy that. It was just so peaceful to see that they can find some sort of activity to do when that internet goes down. And my little one told me the other night, he said, Mom, the internet was down last night. And he said, I slept so good. I said, it's supposed to be like that. And since he said it, I started taking his devices from him 8 o'clock every night. He put a rule onto himself and didn't realize that's what he did. But he gets a better sleep with the device not being either around him, in his face. I mean, we need to start breaking out that on the bed every 5 minutes with this computer, laptop, phone.
Yeah, and it messes with your eyesight too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things that, I mean, we're still trying to get to the bottom of, these children and, fighting and the display that sometimes we hear about coming from the bad behavior into the schools. And one of the things, coming back to what you were saying earlier with regards to that and seeing, what we could do on our end in terms of information sharing that could perhaps reduce or, limit that. You talked about the parents, the parents and I kind of hate it when everybody in society wants to blame the parents all the time for everything, but sometimes they need blaming. Sometimes we as parents, we don't foster the right things. Sometimes we aid and abet nonsense. For lack of a better word, we aid and abet stupidness because your child wrong. No teacher should have to worry about no parent coming in to beat them up in school because of your rude child. You know what I'm saying? Put your child in your place. No, they perhaps, after being, having issues with the same parent over and over, pertaining to the same child. Everybody human. So now this parent, this teacher don't really want to smoke. So what? She gonna probably start ignoring your child. Or yes, the child might get treated differently, but that's because she kind of just know, or he have this hands-off approach to your child because I don't want nothing with this parent because this parent ignorant, this parent is this parent is that, and we as parents, somebody not tell my child nothing before. Before now, it was a village that it took to raise a child. Sometimes you see,
That's
sometimes
true.
you even see, look how bad it is, Shauna. You even see your friend child doing stupidness. And your friend child, you don't even want to correct the child or even tell your friend that the kind of predicament you saw their child involved in. I mean, what are we saying to that?
I mean, I have friends to the point, I have very good friends. Let me just put that out there. Anytime that they see any of my children, even to my adult children, that is behaving inappropriately, not doing what they're supposed to do, they pick up the phone or they send me a message on WhatsApp. And this is how I grew up here in the Virgin Islands. You tell Mary something out of way before you reach home. Mommy have her belt underneath the towel waiting for you.
And they had no cell phone.
He had no cell phone back then. How these people used to know before you get home, my God only knows. I mean, back then when I grew up, I had them dial phone white tails. You used to go, you press one and you have to go da 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 da, and then you come back around. So by the time they probably done dial I halfway home, and when they done drop the message, my mother home waiting on me. But I was never one of those disrespectful children growing up in a neighborhood. Let me just put that out there. I was always the one with morning and good afternoon. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I mean, even to this day, people see me and they'll be like, they're afraid to approach me. I don't know why. I'm always laughing, I'm always smiling. And when people get to know me, they're like, oh, you're pleasant. And I'll be like, thank you. It was how I was raised, you know? And that's our next thing, too. We have to instill manners in our children. Manners is a big, big role in growth, not just for an adult, but from a child to an adult. They say manners make it men and women.
That is so true. I tell you, I love to see these young people, these high schoolers, even primary schoolers, when they walk in the street and they carry themselves in a certain way, and you could just see they're so manageable and so agreeable and so nice. Sometimes they pass you, good morning, good afternoon. Some days ago I was driving in the car, now I took a risk. Because you never know where you're gonna get especially when a bunch of teenage boys congregating, right? So I pass and cross there by the gas station, skylacking in the road. Like it's a small little sidewalk, basically in the road, I'm passing, I see a group of them. My antennas are already up because I know how these children are, and nobody ain't gonna hit me. I say I hit them. You understand? True. So I started slowing down when I saw them, and see, good thing, because as it got close to me, the one boy kind of pushed the other one kind of close out by my vehicle. So I stopped because I was already going slow, and I screwed on my window, taking a chance, of course. I said, listen, y'all don't need to be skylacking in the road. Somebody can get hurt. So one of the little boys said, okay, miss, okay. I was like, what? They ain't cost me.
You just expect that these are things that are expected because of this generation. But I must say, some parents are doing what they're supposed to do. I must say that, because my son have a group of friends. They don't pass me anyway. And they have this nasty habit. Can I get $1, please? I said, no, you may not have $1. But if you carry my bag to my office, you can have the $1. Come, Miss Spy, come. And they come and they embrace that time with me, and they talking. And sometimes I stop, I buy each of them a drink. Once I have it on me, I will buy them a drink or whatever the case may be. But I always encourage them, do your schoolwork. The same way I encourage my son. Do your schoolwork. The future is there for you, but you have to know how to embrace it. Do not sit down and wait for mom and dad to do things for you. Get up and do it yourself in a positive way. You have to be positive, full of manners. I mean, education is a key, but everybody is not book smart, so to speak. So you got to find different ways to help our very own, not even BVI landers. I'm just speaking about human race. You could be black, blue, purple. I don't care what color you are. You have to help someone because these things hand down from generation to generation. I'm good to you, Natasha. I expect you to be good to my children. You see my children falling short. I definitely know you're going to call me girl.
And not before I rough them up.
Yeah,
I'll be
but
like,
this is
you
it.
come here. And that's one of the things too. And even with my children, I told them, I say, you guys are very fortunate to have a mother like me because I am a mother who's into the transference of knowledge and instilling wisdom into my children. I say I had to learn a lot of things that I've learned the hard way. And I do not think having learned the hard way that you should suffer yourself to learn the hard way. When people sharing their experience with you freely, that you should be able to garner some kind of wisdom from. And I said, I'm going to talk to my children about every and anything, and whatever they ask me, I answer. Sometimes you look around and see what's happening, and you use that as an example, as a teaching point. And I do that a lot. I say, let me tell you, if I had somebody talking to me the way that I talk to you at this age, I would be a lot further ahead in life. I said, but I paid a lot physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally to get to where I am now. You don't have to go through all of that because you're wasting your years.
Yes, yeah, you
You're
have the
wasting your
guidance.
years. So I think that where we as parents drop the ball, and that is what is the ancestral curse. You're like, oh, you have a curse. The curse is ignorance.
That's true.
The curse is you going through that, but you failing to teach your children so they don't go through it.
That's exactly my point. I do agree with you 100% on that. Because I went through it. I don't want you to go through it. I know the hardship that I went through. I don't want you to face it. But if you're going to be stubborn, you're going to be disrespectful, you're going to be rude, you're not hurting me as a parent. You're hurting your very own self. Because when we were growing up, Natasha, we learned to work for what we have and to be grateful of every little thing that we receive. It could have been mommy going to the supermarket in town and she bring home a lollipop. That lollipop would have either last for days. You suck on it today, you put it in the fridge. Hopefully none of your sisters that may take it up and eat it. And we were grateful to have this candy in our presence. Even if it was once a week, we were looking forward to that one candy once a week because it was meaningful. And I think this is where, as parents nowadays, that we drop the ball. Because whenever our children say, Ma, I see a pair of shoes for $100. No, sorry, 100 is too cheap nowadays.
They're like
We
two
talking
now.
like two and up to 600 because my son is
600.
my son is asking for Balenciagos. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correct. 600 and something dollars. I said,
You don't walk, man.
walk away.
It got to be.
Nah, I
I
said,
tell them no better. They ain't gonna ask me for that.
want your Balenciagos? My dear child,
Look at that.
you need a lot of savings to save. So when you get your allowance, you start saving. Eventually, you will get to that $600.
I know one time my son or somebody asked me for an iPhone. I said, do I have an iPhone?
This is
What makes you think I'm gonna buy you one? We ain't doing that. Nah, we ain't doing that. But I think too, you're right. Like for some strange reason, we feel like we have to spoil children.
No.
We don't even make them work for nothing. We don't even say, okay, you want this iPhone, so bad, bring home all A's. We ain't even trying to barter with them. We just going out to say, well, my mom ain't give me no iPhone. I can give my child an iPhone and every other phone or whatever they want. And I think we're going wrong there, and that's promoting. So it's parents without restraint, trying to give their children everything they never had. It's parents going in the schools, disrespecting the teachers and the staff, making their child have the impression that they could do anything they want. It's parents not providing a good example for their children. So if your child watching you fight and watching you in contention with other people and watching you doing a bunch of stupidness, how do you think they could do any better? So we're not being good role models for our children to emulate. So they're basically just replicating what they see. So what are you showing your children? What fruits are you giving them? Are you giving them fruits or are you giving them vines or thorns? What is it? And I think that as parents, if we answer that question seriously for ourselves and figure out like, no, this is not the way, and stop the era of our own ways, and talk to our children, really talk to them about where you went wrong, so they don't feel, well, my mommy, well, I seen you doing it, and you try to disregard the fact that they seen it. They seen it because you're doing it. So how you could talk to them?
Do I believe
No, that
strongly?
don't work.
Do as I
That
say,
don't
not as
work.
I do, because I make the mistake. I want you not to make the mistake.
But parents don't be honest, Shauna.
But that's true.
They thinking children ain't seen it.
That's true. That's
So
true.
now you as a parent, you have all kind of man trafficking in and out your house. So then when your daughter now start that same behavior, now you want to kill her.
That's true. That's true.
How? She's seeing that from you.
She's seeing it from me, and it is not a healthy environment.
No.
And this is why I always instill in my children, I mean, from the oldest to the youngest, for the past how much years, all you're seeing is daddy, 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 daddy. And people will be like, how you guys do it? The one person. I was like, what you mean how we doing it? We living. We are living. You just have to know how to compromise, how to live and live. I mean, don't get me wrong. In every environment, no matter if it's at home, it's at church, it's at work, even to walking on the street, it can be stressful. But you have to learn how to channel that stress into something positive and making sure that it does not affect your children in any negative way. There was this young lady I used to communicate with on a regular basis. She was younger than I am. And it'd be like, you have to be mindful of persons that you're bringing around to your younger children. And I told her that in the light of, not that I was probing or prying into her personal business, but I was seeing a cycle happening with her. And I turned to her, yes, you have to date. Yes, you have to be out there. Okay, it didn't work out with one. It didn't work out with two. But make 3 count. Distance your family away from this whole boyfriend and getting to know this. No. I strongly believe that this is something that you have to do. And it helps with the children's growth. Because these poor children will be up and down calling these, whoever it is, auntie, uncle, and they're not related because they were mommy, boyfriend, and girlfriend a long time ago. And I mean, I don't believe, I honestly, I don't like it. It's my opinion.
Shauna, wait, we need an next show for this topic. Because we just run out of time, Lord. Listen, we gotta bring Shauna back next week for a new edition of Life Vibrations, man. You have to leave the children, and as we here to continue to help to elevate and to inform.
And keep it positive.
So thank you guys for tuning in, and blessings. Thanks, Shauna.
No problem.
You've been listening to Light Vibrations, brought to you by Light Communications. Light Communications, your one-stop shop for all of your communications and marketing needs. From conception to completion, we offer the entire communications package. Choose Light for reach, results, and reliability. We have over 15 years experience and we offer an array of services guaranteed to enhance your reach and increase your market presence. To showcase your business or organization on our program, contact Natasha Letzum at natasha@lightcommunications.com or via WhatsApp or telephone at 284-545-7355 to secure your package today. Community-minded individuals with knowledge in finance, health, business, relationships, spirituality, fitness, agriculture, healthy living, parenting, or any other topic that can enhance the lives of our community are also encouraged to contact Ms. Letzum to organize an interview. Thank you for tuning in to Light Vibration, and don't forget to tune in this time next week as we continue to bring you life-changing information. Until next time, shine your light.